Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of The Bug Warrior. In this episode I will show you how to get and use Kullean Tuning Prisms so you can enhance your unique or mythic amulets with an aspect. As always, please consider to subscribe if you're looking for short and straight to the point action RPG answers. Alright, let's get to it. Well, before we begin, I want to send a huge shout to @RMBillGilly6493 because I will be honest, I had no idea that you could imprint aspects on your unique or mythic amulet before @RMBillGilly6493's comment. And thanks to the Kullean Tuning Prisms, your build simply will be more powerful. Also, I want to mention that if you're wondering where the name for this consumable comes from, well, it's because of Sultan Kule, you know, the guy that created the Horadric Cube and the guy that talks to you at the tower. Okay, let's continue. In order to get the Kullean Tuning Prism consumable, you have two options. The first one, and probably the best, is to simply farm elites at Nightmare Dungeons and Escalation Sigils. For this farming method to work, you need to enable two nodes at the Nightmare Dungeons Warpland 3, which are the Gauntlet and Nemesis. As you know, by enabling these nodes, every time you interact with a shrine, elites can spawn. Sometimes 7, sometimes 1, but at least you're spawning elites. Now when the shrine buff is active, some of the enemies that you slay will respawn when the buff expires. This effect actually works really well, as you can see, with elites. To make the most out of these nodes, you want to craft Nightmare Dungeons or Escalation Sigils that have any shrine affix. The reason is that these dungeons will have a lot of shrines. To get huge amounts of elites, you want to chain as many shrines as fast as possible. By doing this, you will be constantly slaying and resurrecting elites. This is why I believe this is the fastest and the most consistent way to get Kullean Tuning Prisms. The drop rate is still low, but I find that on average you will get 2 Kullean Tuning Prisms per dungeon. The second method to get these prisms is also at Nightmare Dungeons or Escalation Sigils, but this time you will be looking for the materials reserve affix. Here what you will be doing is chasing the chests, since they have a small chance of dropping Kullean Tuning Prisms. Same as with the shrines, you can craft sigils at the occultist, or if you want to farm them at Escalation Sigils, then perhaps consider enabling the branching pathways node so you can get more portals, and hopefully one of those will have the materials reserve affix. Now before I show you the last method, there are two more ways to get Kullean Tuning Prisms when farming dungeons. The first one is by opening Resplendent Chests, as those chests sometimes drop Kullean Tuning Prisms, as you can see here. The other method is by farming the Butchers. As you know, by enabling the Myth Brothers and Night Terror nodes inside the Helltide Warpland 3, you will spawn these guys. By enabling these nodes, instead of being ambushed by Hellborns inside Nightmare Dungeons, you will be ambushed by the Butchers. The Butchers are a great source to get both Profane Mind Cages and Kullean Tuning Prisms. The last way to get these prisms is at the Undercity. This is actually a really good way to earn them, but only if you've got greater tributes of Ingenuity, since these tributes give you greater Horadric Cube materials, and also there is a chance to get Kullean Tuning Prisms. For this farming method to work even better, you will need the Gotherfield node active at the Undercity Warplands 3. This node has a small chance of spawning Portal Prankster Goblins every time you activate a beacon. This means that you want to activate all beacons even if you already reach maximum attunement. This method will give you 1 Kullean Tuning Prism on average at the end of the run. Last but not least, in order to use the Kullean Tuning Prisms, you will need a good unique or mythic unique amulet. Step 1 is going through the full cycle of the crafting process, which is, as you already know, enchanting, adding a socket, tempering, masterworking, and after that go to the cube. Now before you begin transfiguring, check which aspect is the one you're aiming for. Here for example, I am looking for the Great Storm aspect, as you can see. Once you identify that, then add the amulet to the cube, add the Kullean Tuning Prisms, and automatically the recipe will add volatile primordial dust, which also you get with the methods discussed in this guide. Next, click on the transmute button and let the fun begin. Here is all RNG based, so it might take a few tries, or 28 as it happened to me, before you find what you're looking for. Once you find your aspect, then remove the Kullean Tuning Prisms and transfigure, and this will end the crafting cycle. So there you have it. Having an additional aspect is a game changer for any build. This is what makes the Kullean Tuning Prism one of the most valuable consumables in Diablo 4. Again, a huge shout and thanks to @RMBillGilly6493 for telling me about this, and I hope this quick guide helps you. We reached the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far and found the video interesting or useful, please consider to share, like, comment, or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.